Welcome back, guys, to Pro Row 784. My name is Chuck. This is Brandon. We're out here today working on a 2023 Can-Am Renegade. He's taking it down so we can get it gusseted and powder coated and get this machine ready to go race. So you guys hang tight, we'll share it with you. So hey guys, we're in the shop today, and Brandon's taking down this Renegade here. This is Brandon here, obviously, and he's we're trying to get it all torn down. This is a new quad. I think it's got like 6 hours on it, something like that. We purchased it from a fella down here in South Florida that rode one race on it and a little bit of practice and that kind of stuff. This is what we're doing. So what do you think, Brandon? Trying to get this thing torn down so we can get after it, right? So
yeah, I mean, the big part of it is putting it back together. Taking it down is pretty easy. It don't take too long. I really just started on it today. I had the plastics off of it for about a week, and then after the plastics get off, and the rest of it's pretty simple. Going back together with it takes longer, but yeah, we're trying to get it so we can have it done by next weekend, so we can take it up to the guys over there at Coating Solutions and get it powder coated. Obviously, we got to get it gusseted before we get it powder coated, so we'll do that here as well. So trying to cram a lot in a week. So
stuff. Brandon, you have any idea what color maybe you might do this one for
black.
Next? Well, we're going to do it black, but you don't have any idea about the Checo front bumper, rear intrusion block? Don't know yet. So we like our frames black. In fact, we're going to be doing two frames. This one's yellow. This is neon yellow here, and we really like the color of that. We did not do this one, but the issue is anytime that you do need to weld on it or need to repair something on it, you got to goob it up, and it just looks really bad. There's a place right here where we added a gusset here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can see the frame. There's nothing wrong with this frame. It's just that you can see stuff like that. We did a little bit of welding up in there that wasn't welded whenever it was put together and that kind of stuff. So we have learned to do our frames in black, but also now when we gusset the frames and weld the frames, we weld up all the seams, and anything that's got a factory weld on there, we ended up going over that and welding that. So typically we don't have busted frames and broken frames and that kind of stuff, but you can see this quad's a little bit dirty and that kind of stuff from where the guy had some ride time on it. And so anyway, I'm gonna get after it here. All right, Brandon, we're making headway on it. Made a big mess pulling all the radiator stuff out. I thought I was going to try to catch it all, but ended up not catching it. So yeah, it's just aggravating. So I have to mop the floor up, and we'll vacuum all this stuff here. So anyway, we're Brandon's getting ready to take the dry shaft loose in the back there. We're going to pull the engine out of this thing, engine and transmission together. We're going to try to set it on that roll around cart here. Just because it's so darn heavy. We're trying to put everything in the corner here. As you can see here, we're piling it up there, and then we'll pile it along this shelf here. Shouldn't be too long. Hopefully we can get this thing put back together.
The only thing that's left is the dry shaft.
Yeah, got to get the dry shaft.
Actually, this motor mount's still up here.
Motor mount, and then
dry shaft and that dry shaft.
Yeah, all the DPS unit and all the front end stuff. So do have to take these A-arms off here and gusset these. This is where I gusset them. I was in another video and some people were asking. It's this upper A-arm right here and this upper A-arm right here. So it's two places on both A-arms. The bottoms get replaced by Texera arms, the heavy duty Heims and that kind of stuff. They're all adjustable and that kind of stuff. So the motor pretty much stays alone. We don't mess with that. We don't go internal. haven't really needed all that. A lot of the guys, I don't think a lot of the guys do that. There may be a few, but honestly don't need that. So we pretty much leave the motor pretty much stock. The clutches, there's quite a bit of work that goes into that. Brandon's running, you know, he runs various combinations, depends on track, quad, that kind of stuff. He likes one, he likes the other, so it just depends on where we're running at, that kind of stuff. DPS unit, we leave it all alone. It's my own stock. All this thing gets all J Parts stuff, J Parts Heims, tie rod ends, steering sim, and all that stuff. So listen, the other thing I was going to tell you too, if any of you guys are interested in any of this stuff, the brake stuff, Brandon runs, he runs all J Parts master cylinders. So we'll be selling all this stuff here, okay? And we've got this stuff times two, so we still got some of this stuff from last season from where we've not sold. It's over there on the other side over there, but we got a stock exhaust, just some stuff, you know, it's just some miscellaneous stuff. But the stock brake pads, because Brandon runs DP brake pads, that kind of stuff. So if any of you guys are interested in that, if not, I'm gonna throw some of that stuff up on eBay. So what do you think, Brandon? So far, going pretty good?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean,
hour and a half, maybe?
The rear end takes the most time. Once
it
we
does.
get like all the rear end part done, then it's like, in just a minute, it'll be gone.
Right.
It'll be all done.
Right.
All
So,
the front end stuff's really easy.
Yeah.
DPS is almost out. Motor's pretty much out. We just got to kind of lift it out.
yeah.
To be honest with you. The
Yeah.
drive shaft's done. On the rear, the motor mount, it's ready to go.
So when we try to remove everything, we try to leave everything together as much as we can, right?
Yeah,
all
we
the
try
nuts
to
and
bolt
bolts
kind
and
of
that kind
everything
of stuff.
back together a little bit so we know exactly. I mean, I pretty much know about where every bolt goes.
It's just a lot easier when you don't have to dig for it.
A lot simpler and all that kind of stuff.
So anyway, we just try to leave all now all these bolts will come out and we'll put them in a baggie that's basically going to be labeled frame bolts. So we're just leaving them all in there right now just because when we get all the bulk stuff out, then we'll put all that stuff in a baggie labeled frame bolts or whatever the hell, right, Brent?
Yep.
So all right, let's get back after it. All right, so we got it all torn down there. The only thing we have left to do is we got to take off the stock skid plate. But as you can see, there's some debris and that kind of stuff in there. So we're going to take it outside and remove that, flip it upside down. Still got to remove all of our frame bolts, right, Brandon? And put those in a baggie by themselves. There's some plastic stuff here. We try to keep all that stuff together there. So in that way, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. Anyway, so that's pretty much a wrap on that. I did do the time lapse thing or whatever, Brandon, so I don't know how good it'll turn out, but anyway, we'll see how it turns out. But we still got to put up all of our tools and that kind of stuff. So
just hand it over to Coating Solutions and let them powder coat it, and then bring it back down here and
yep,
put it all back together.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping anyway, because the only you've got to get a few more items.
I mean, there's still a few more items I need powder coated for one, and also I still got to get. I don't have everything to complete the fuller just yet. Obviously, it is still 2024, so sponsorship reasons and things like that, I don't have everything just yet, but still kind of working on it and getting it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so get all that stuff and then we'll get it put back together. More than likely, we'll probably pick this thing up at Beckley. That's what I'm thinking. I think we're probably going to drive to Beckley, so we'll probably swing through North Carolina, pick it up there. So that's what, 3 weeks away. But all right, but tomorrow is not ATVs. Tomorrow is we're going to go to the
jet ski.
Yep, we're going to go to the Chain of Lakes. We're going to ride some jet skis. Our last weekend off for a while, and we're just going to do that tomorrow only, and then just right back after it. But yeah, tomorrow
ride a little bit. We'll see. Need to get back on a fuller. I haven't been on a fuller since snowshoe. or a Renegade snowshoe.
Yes.
I've been on a 450 teaching kids and things like that, but haven't done a lot of training on a full or for myself. But ready to get back on one because obviously we only got
2 weeks.
1 week until I race again.
Right.
And 2 weeks until a big race for me. So
yeah, I think the Southern Roots race is going to be a good race. That's a good good little series up there. They try to do the best they can. I think it's going to be it'll be a great warm up for you. And I'm not sure. I'm guessing we're taking this quad here.
Yeah, we're going to take
that one. So we're taking this one here.
That's kind of my practice / local bike. At least right now it is. Obviously we got to tear it down at some point in time and go through it. Same thing we're doing here, we're just with a used fuller instead of a new one.
Right. Yeah, that I don't know if I explained it earlier, but that one's got the neon frame on it. We did not build that quad. We ended up buying it with the frame and all that. And there's a few places that's been tweaked on. We've had to weld some gussets in, that kind of stuff. So the way that we do them today, we really don't have that problem. But you've got to tear them down completely like this and add a bunch of gussets. Brandon and I put the Gncc kit on there, plus we add a few more of our own and then do a lot more welding than probably what we should, right, Brandon? But anyway,
but it works.
It works, yeah. Makes it a little heavy.
No issue.
You know?
Yeah, it does add a few pounds to it for sure.
Right.
Compared to how much that frame weighs compared to a gusseted one is pretty.
It's quite a bit.
Pretty big.
You know what? We ought to do that. I think, you know what? I may do that. I can. Why don't we weigh it? That'd be an interesting. That'd be very interesting. I know it makes it heavier. I don't know how much, but it almost makes it. The frame, you can pick it up with one person. With gusseted, it's a two-person job. Right. So I think what we ought to do is that's what I'm gonna do for y'all. I'm gonna weigh it by itself before I start welding. And heaven's sakes, I'll probably do it before I do the stripping of it too. And then we'll weigh it afterwards, and it weighs quite a bit more. But there again, it's a trade-off, because I'd rather it be a little heavy but be braced really good so it doesn't bust on us, because when things starts busting, it starts tearing up a bunch of different things, and we don't want that. So I would personally rather have it a little bit heavy than not.
They're so heavy anyway.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make too big of a difference. So it's not like it's crazy. If it was a 450, maybe it's a little bit different story, but these things weigh so much anyway.
Yeah, some of those pro guys, I had heard they're using some titanium bolts and everything else. My goodness.
Which it makes a difference.
Yes, it does.
But for us on the Renegades, it's like, at that point, there's really
we'd have to get we'd have to get a big sponsor that would sponsor us the titanium stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, honestly, it'd probably make a difference. But then again, you know, once these darn things get a bunch of mud and everything else on them, it changes everything. But
yeah, that bike runs good over there. It should be ready to go for this weekend. I'm going to ride it probably Sunday, and probably once or twice before the weekend, and then get it race prepped ready to go for Georgia.
Yeah. So today's Friday. Yeah, we'll actually be up there this time next week.
Yep.
And so so we'll be up there this time next week. So, but the good thing about it is we got this frame, got the other frame. That'll get me going. I got a lot of welding to do, that kind of stuff. Brandon can train, ride, and then we can prep this quad here. So, all right, Brandon, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna pick up all of our tools. Didn't think you guys wanted to see a bunch of that. We're gonna get out of here and do all this. Also, I had a bunch of you guys asking me about brake lines and that kind of stuff. Listen, I've got all the brake lines off this one. I tried to explain it the best I could, the way that Brandon likes to run them, that kind of stuff with the J parts. They call them brake pumps. They're the upper master cylinders, and then the way that he runs his brake lines. But if you guys have any questions, I've got all these brake lines off this quad here, laying over there. I could probably lay it all out if there's any question, but I tried to explain it the best I could.
22 or 23, or the new ones. I know the new ones. They got rid of the rear brake caliper over here.
So it only has
on the left rear side. So they got rid of that. So obviously we got to put a new line there. We technically could use the right rear brake line, but we actually upgrade that to a streamline. And then also we upgrade both master cylinders up top on the hands to J parts as well. So, but we don't use actually any of the factory lines off of this Fuller I just tore down. So none of the lines on this Fuller that I will use for when I go back together. It'll be all new lines because of how Canam runs their brake lines now. They used to run them how I run them now, but
They changed all of it
that,
because
that, like
we're
22.
minusing a rear caliper
Yep,
too.
in
Yeah.
22 and 23, they only put it on one hand and all that kind of stuff. Me personally, I like to have it, all the braking ability I
Right.
can have. So that's why I like it on both hands and obviously the foot as well.
Actually, yeah, on the 22 and 23, it doesn't even come with a right,
Yeah.
a right up on your right hand. It doesn't even come with a master cylinder. So.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, braking is extremely important, Braden, right? So you got to make sure that
I just like the
you have
ability to
adequate braking.
be able to grab anything I want. So
Right.
that's just my preference. Now there's some people that like the
They like it originally.
one hand better. I mean, because there's
It's
a
all
lot
preference.
of different things that makes a difference. But
Yeah.
that's just what I like to run.
But anyway, if you guys got any questions, certainly you can reach out to me. So, all right, hope you guys gonna be able, maybe I'm gonna try to shorten the video up, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and gonna be some more to come. I'm gonna get a little bit of me working on it, doing some welding and that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll stop and explain some of the stuff, how I do it. And that way you guys can sort of see how we do the gusseting and that kind of stuff. But I am gonna weigh it. I think that would be interesting. So I will weigh it, and I'll record those weights and that kind of stuff. So, all right, as always, guys, I appreciate you guys watching our videos, and we will catch you next time. I'll be doing some welding, so I'll see you then.